The fate of Stormbringer. The entire battlefield, remember, is a cosmic landscape that is constantly falling closer and closer to the heart of an enormous sun. The sun god Aminar is hoping to keep Stormbringer from plunging deep into his breast and poisoning him and leading to a new dark age in the campaign of Dubzaron, which originally started as the Adventure Conqueror King base world of, I think it's the Auran Empire. Aminar is the sun god. Ra would be the equivalent in the pantheon of Aminar. Now, if you're playing in a tabletop campaign and you are following our day-to-day progress of the battle, note that Stormbringer is held in the hands of these light riders. These are celestial riders. These are heavenly host. And that means that the forces of good are ascendant. If that stays true, then on your tabletop, you should give the forces of good just a little bit of a bump. However, the battle is not over yet. They have to get the sword off the table by October 12th. If the sword is still on the table, regardless of who holds it, at the end of October 12th, it plunges into the sun. Bad news bears. But we're not at that point yet. As I said, today is October 2nd, and that means we have to start with our random encounter. Bear in mind, I prepared these cards, I shuffled them up, and wrote the date on it. I had no idea what the battlescape would look like, and so I had no idea of knowing whether or not the rogue planet, pick a random location, would make a difference. Now, I wrote down any figure within 2 inches is killed. Instead, I thought it'd be a lot more fun to actually build a planetary terrain. So that's going to drop in and drift with the battlefield for the rest of the fight. It is blocking terrain, and you can fly over it, but I don't think anybody has... It's 4 inches across, so you need 5 inches to move. So nobody's going to be able to move across it. It does block line of sight. Where does it appear, I hear you ask? Well, I am going to roll a d30, and I'm going to add 2. That's the distance along the x-axis. I'm going to roll a d20 and add 1, and that's the distance the center will arrive along the y-axis. It's a 36-inch table by a 20-inch table, so that's kind of the justification for those numbers. And as you can see, we get a 12 and a 14, which is right in the heart of the action. I will use my Wiley Games, available at wiley-games.com, to measure that distance. I said it's 16 inches from this table edge, which puts it even with that. And then it's going to be 15 inches into the table, which is going to drop it right on top of this unit of heavy infantry, kablow, and it completely blasts them off the table. Now, I went with a lengthy explanation, kablow, so that you would understand that it's all smooth and legit, and on the up and up, a slightly higher roll could have blasted somebody else off the table. That does really put the forces of darkness behind the 8-ball. They have to go first. They no longer have any morale checks that they have to make. So we are going to start with Bell needs to get these guys. He's got to stop them. He is elite foot. He is going to move into combat with them. And then this is going to be ugly, to be honest with you. It's a delaying action. He might just be one man against the world. He is going to be, as elite foot, he's going to be hitting on 3s. Worse than that, he is going to be re-rolling all of his misses. And any 6s he rolls will do double blamage. So this is a total of 11 hits. For their part, oh, you know what? I forgot. These guys can exercise a skirmish action. On a 7 or better, they can shoot at him and then skedaddle. They get a 10. Now, we're going to maintain that hit roll, but they do get to move half their distance, which means they are going to be able to escape from his clutches. That half distance puts them right in here, like so. And that may just mean the difference between victory and defeat. That, no, you know what? The only direction that they can really move to stay an inch away from their allies is like right about there, which means they're going to try. They have to race through here to be safe. He will be able to stop right about there, and that does mean that they also get to take a shot at him. His big melee attack does no good, and let's roll for their little shooting attack, shall we? Man, we should have used the light cavalry the whole time. I forgot about that bonus move. That really would have helped, huh? And they're going to be able to... Now, they only hit on 6s. They only do 3 hits. That's not enough to do any damage, but we don't care. The whole point of that exercise was getting to safety. Although the fact that they are they within 3? They're just outside of 3 inches of who will be our next activation. She's going to race up to try and cut them off at the pass. With a result of a 7, she will be able to execute her move order to here. And, man, that's really about all she can do. Then we're going to try to open fire. We've got a unit of 3,000 archers right here. They will execute a shoot order against Aminar. Maybe they can drive him from the table. They are hitting on 5s because they're within, within 6 inches. They're only going to get 3 hits. Nope, there's the 4th hit right there. Aminar, for his part, does have a 6-up save, which fails, so he takes an additional point of damage. And now he has to make a morale check at -3. He needs to roll a 6 or better to succeed, and with an 8, he does. So all they do is 1 point of damage. Then we only have one more unit that can do anything, and that's these guys. These are Bellicose Foot, who can char... Oh, come to think of it, we should have started with that one, huh? They're 3 inches away. They don't get the bonus. Bellicose Foot, what is their attack order? Do they attack on 5s? Bellicose Foot, they attack on 5s, yeah. So they are going to move up. Now, because they are at half strength, they're only going to roll 6 dice. This is a compulsory move. Maybe not the best idea, but we don't really have much of a choice. They're not going to do any damage to the guy. And, of course, he is going to counterattack. And as a elite foot, he is going to do a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He gets to reroll his misses. Looking for 5s. That's a big one. 10. They have an armor value of 4. He does 2 wounds to them. They need to make an armor check at -8 altogether. With a result of an 8, -8 is 0. Oh, +1. So they are merely battered. There's only 4 of these guys left, but man, talk about stick-to-itiveness, huh? They really don't want to return home without that sword, because Boss Man is not going to be happy. The Forces of Chaos are now done. It is now time for the Forces of Light. And as you can see, we have a couple of units that were left battered after the last turn. These guys are at -7? Are they within 3 inches of Mandonio? There's 3 inches. I will not allow it. They are at -7. A 6 -7 means they quit the field. A negative result on your morale check means you have completely lost your nerve. These guys are heavy elite riders. They are at -7 altogether. And again, they quit the field. So things are really opening up pretty spectacularly. The next thing we're going to do is Aminar says to these guys, hey, exercise the better part of valor. Move 5 inches, and they're going to move 5 inches directly away. That will put them out of reach of the Forces of Chaos. They have now moved. Everybody has moved. We're going to bring these guys. Should we attack the god? No, Mandonio has to make amends for his earlier reticence to get involved. He is going to... He's attacking Bell. Are you kidding? A hero like Mandonio, he gets an option. He gets an opportunity to plunge his heart right into the eye of evil itself. A 10 will be successful. Also, that's what heroes do, right? He's an elite boy, so he's hitting on 3s, and our Demon Lord is going to be hitting on... Oh, what do we got here? In melee, his 6s do 2 points of damage. But because he is fighting on the defensive... Did I purchase anything for that? No. Elite Foot fighting on the defensive are going to be hitting on 4s. Although, from the way this guy re-rolls his numbers... Man, talk about lights out. So he gets a total of 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's going to do 3 hits on Mandonio. So 3 hits here for versus on the attack. We're doing 3s. Looking for a total groups of 4. We get 2 hits. So 3 hits on Mandonio, 2 on Bale will roll these. Any 6s negate. That was that die. So it's only going to be one hit on the Demon Prince. And it's going to be, what did we say, 3 hits on Mandonio. 1, 2, where's that third one? Both of our morale checks are going to be, oh, you know what? I forgot. Mandonio also gets to reroll his misses. I'm going to give him a chance. So he actually does one more hit. And let's see, on the 6-up we get a save. He does not. So that actually, he does manage to do one more hit on the general here. And that means the general has to save at -4 now versus -3 for the hero. Our hero, oh, Mandonio. Okay. 2, 4, 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. 3 minus 4. Oh, 3 minus 3, because his boss is nearby, is still a 0. Both of these powers flee from the battlefield or are driven back. I don't know what that means in a celestial term, but I can tell you this. It does mean that all of the forces of hell, because their general has left, their nerve fails. We need to make a series of morale checks for, are they all on the table? They are. Okay, so these guys will fail on, on 11 they're okay. These guys are still at -8, so they quit the field, and then is at -3. She gets a total of 4. She is fine. She is still in the hunt, still in the game, but she has some issues of her own to contend with because we can move these guys down. Now Aminar is going to launch an attack on her, and he's got 1 shooting attack. He's got a spell. He's going to try to blast her. He's got to roll a 5 or better, and he does. That blast spell hits on 4s, and he's going to get a total of 6 hits. See, this is a safer play for him because he doesn't have to worry about failing a morale check. He gets 6 hits. That's only going to do 1 hit on her. Now, she does have the armor save, so on a 6, she takes no damage. Yep. So nothing doing. Kind of a haymaker there. We do have 1 more unit down here of heavy foot to engage with her. And on an 8, they will. They are at full strength. Heavy foot, they're hitting on 5s. They're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 hits all together. And on a 6, it does no good. So she does take 1 hit. And then she is going to counterattack. And she rerolls all misses because she is a goddess. And although she's only hitting on 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a great initial roll, but she does get that second roll. 1, 2, which really does put the hurt on those guys. They have an armor value of 4. That's going to do 2 hits to those guys. 1, 2. And we have to make a couple of morale checks. She has a total of minus, what is she sitting on here now? -5. She gets her score of 5. She's okay. These guys are at -2. 7 minus 2 is a 5. They have a courage of 4. They are also okay, but they will be driven back that 1 inch, which frees her to act on the next turn. We have 1 more unit kind of in the backfield that's going to try to advance, and with a result of an 8, they do. So we'll just pivot around, and I'll show you those guys real quick. These guys are going to be able to race up, and finally, at last, they may be able to put some distance between who is trying to catch these guys on the next turn. The next turn is October 3rd. This is going to start going fast and furious. I believe the turns are going to get shorter moving forward as we are now engaged in a foot race. These guys have a movement of 5 inches. She only has a movement of 4. They are too far away for the free move order from Aminar, which gives us an interesting, significant choice each turn. I don't know if these guys moved or not. I don't think they did. I think we do have 1 more move. Let's hope we fail it. Yeah, so they failed. So whether I move them or not, they don't move. And we're ready to go with just the couple of units left. You know, we do have a unit of archers down here. I don't know, maybe these guys, if these guys can do a point of damage on Aminar, then Aminar may flee the field, and all of these guys have to make morale checks. There's still some potential for some interesting gameology going on here. Tune in tomorrow, October 3rd, when we continue the saga of the fate of Stormbringer, who currently rests in the hands of these light riders for the forces of light. How appropriate. Till tomorrow, I'm praying for you.